Summa cum laude graduate. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Okay. Tell me why Glaxo kind of wrote this drug off, and yet you have such great hopes for it.
So I obviously can't speak for other companies other than Axovan, right. But what I can tell you is that RVT-101 is a unique drug that we actually think could help millions of patients with Alzheimer's disease. Our focus is actually on the treatment of Alzheimer's disease, dementia, and other forms of dementia. We've actually put together what I view as a top-notch team in the industry, involving the developer of the most widely used drug to treat Alzheimer's disease, who actually led our due diligence on this asset, and actually will lead our development program going forward. And actually on our board of directors is the former head of neurosciences from GSK that actually led the development of this drug, who sits on our board right now, and all of those individuals are every bit as excited as we are about the development.
Well, then walk us through what we've seen so far, because we know, as I said, there's a bunch of companies that have gone in phase 2, and we get so excited, but then it doesn't work out in phase 3. Why do you think you're ahead of those other companies that have never been able to bring that to market?
That's a great question. And the thing in Alzheimer's disease to remember, and we remember this all the time at Axovan, is we don't fully understand the way the actual underlying disease works, not just us at Axovan, but the field more generally. But the thing with RVT-101 is it's actually a neurotransmitter-targeted therapy that actually in part works through the release of acetylcholine, which is already known to be an effective mechanism of action, because that's actually very similar to how the currently approved drugs work. And so the way the drug works has been demonstrated in clinical trials. In a large phase 2 study, phase 2B study, with 684 patients, multinational, double-blind, placebo-controlled study. And this is the key, on the pre-specified analysis, not some type of reanalysis or subgroup analysis, but on the pre-specified analysis, the drug actually demonstrated statistically significant improvements in both cognition and in function out to 24 weeks in a way that was maintained out to a full year in time. So that's actually what we think makes this such an exciting opportunity. In addition to its safety and tolerability profile, it's a really well-tolerated drug, and you take it as one pill once a day. And we think that we're very excited about its development going forward.
Okay, well, let's look at it. We have to be skeptical. You were a former hedge fund manager. I would always be nervous when I would see a stock that would be as hot as this one. I don't believe you have anything else right now in the pipeline. If you were a hedge fund manager when you got in shares in this stock and you just had seen Axovan and said, would you have rung the register today?
So, you know, I can't comment exactly on my investor seat, because right now I'm actually thinking about this as the person who's developing this company.
Of course, I'm not really trying to put you on the spot, but I tell you, if I were a hedge fund manager and I got it, I would have said, geez, that was a home run.
Yes. So let me actually speak directly to it then.
Okay.
I actually think the potential opportunity here is really tremendous for delivering value to patients. There's over 5 million patients who suffer from Alzheimer's disease in this country alone. And if you think about it, we own global rights to a drug that has already demonstrated in a large phase 2B study efficacy on the 2 parameters that the FDA has historically required for new Alzheimer's disease drugs. And actually, we believe we're only one additional phase 3 study away from the approval of this drug on a global basis.
And how long do you think, what has been the course that the FDA wants for phase 3? 6 months, a year, 2 years? What have you seen? Because, you know, it takes a long time.
Yes, so historically, actually all of the currently approved drugs for Alzheimer's disease were generally approved on the basis of 24 to 28-week data. And that's what we think is going to be the consistent requirement going forward as well. So our planned phase 3 trial, which we intend to start later this year, in the 4th quarter of this year, is going to be a study that's approximately 6 months in duration. And based on the phase 2B data, which was already, as I mentioned, showed efficacy on cognition and on function, we think could have a meaningful opportunity in the phase 3 study.
There was something that was different, and I went through the S1, which was that there were 2 hedge funds, I think, that had a shorter lockup time. Is there a way to change that so they have the same time as everybody?
Actually, let me speak to something, because that's actually a great point to clarify. So the 2 investors that had indicated an indication of interest on the cover were actually not insiders, that is to say, existing investors. These are new investors who actually agreed to a restriction above and beyond what the other investors in the IPO actually
I'm glad you cleared that up, because I know that, you know, people, when they see a red hot stock, when I see a red hot stock, I don't want to get people hurt. You know that.
Absolutely.
And it's going to, you know, you got one drug, and, you know, everyone hopes that it works.
I think you're asking all the right questions, exactly.
Fair enough. Okay, well, we're going to be, you know, we following the situation. And I think, you know, look, I just hope the drug works.
Absolutely.
Right?
We're looking forward to it.
Everyone wants it to work. Okay, that's Vivek Ramaswamy. He's the president and CEO of what may be the most successful biotech, or the biggest biotech offering of the year, most certainly. That's Axevent Sciences. Please do some homework. Go through plenty of documents. Mad Money's back in.